All right, welcome back, everybody. Vinnie Mac with you here. And this is open mic night, where everybody gets to have something to say. Chat board is open. It'll appear on screen. Welcome, one and all. In the meantime, I'm just going to be kind of bouncing around doing a little bit something here. But whatever is on your mind, we can discuss. WrestleMania this weekend coming up. I can't say I'm overly excited about it because there's nothing about it that stands out to me. I think they have completely screwed up how they've worked Ronda Rousey and already crushed her. Good evening. Dookie's in the house. NWF in the house. If you haven't checked out the NWF, you need to. Doing some fun and exciting stuff over there. Matter of fact, let me take a moment, if I may, if I have enough light in here to read. We've got NWF. We also have the HCW. We have the House of Honor. We've got LTD, or what the hell? It's so dark in here, I can't read my own writing. Combat Kingdom, that's what it is. It was a cool name. And, of course, WCW, or excuse me. Was it UCW? Again, my writing in the dark. I apologize. But that's our sports lounge. Again, some great stuff out there by our friends right here as part of the Nation Network. So go check out what they're doing, man. They got some good stuff. Let me tell you something. If Jim Cornette were to agree, even like via telephone or something like that, you know, to appear on one of the broadcasts, I would have to be like doing it from the shower because I'd have to just keep on rinsing and washing off because I jizz myself so much. Now, Jim Cornette, seriously, I refer to him as Uncle Jimmy. I've had problems like where I can't sleep some nights, and some people will put on like those sound effects for white noise, or they'll put on, you know, the ocean in the background, whatever crap. I'll put on a Jim Cornette podcast or something, just listen to him tell stories. And it's literally like, you know, back when you were a kid and they tell you a bedtime story, you fall asleep. Just his voice, his cadence, the way he tells these freaking stories are so hilarious. And usually within 25 minutes, you know, I'm off sleeping, but I still hear Jimmy's voice in the background. So, yeah, it would be an absolute honor beyond words to have him. NWF over here singing along, huh? Charlotte versus Asuka, is that a man? I don't even know the card. I can't watch it anymore. I'll watch Mania because it's Mania. And I learned a long time ago, you don't need to watch Raw and SmackDown because the packages they put together before each match are 100 times better than what you actually saw live. They edit it up nice and make it look good when normally it sucked. And I'm counting on that. But what I have seen are the clips of Ronda and how they've just absolutely ruined her already. I was listening to Taz talk about how bad they screwed her up. And he had so many great points, so many obviously great points, how Stephanie McMahon should have been running in fear from her from day one, minute one. Not slapping her in the face, not staring her down, making her look weak, and then Ronda doesn't even retaliate. There should have been cops in the ring holding her back. Man, the WWE just doesn't have a grasp anymore. They really don't. Tim's in the house. Who let the grill out? How you doing, buddy? So yeah, again, I'm supposed to go to my cousin's house to watch it. So with my wacky sleep schedule, I'm not sure if I'm going to be up for that or not. If I do, I won't get there till like 7, 8 o'clock at night anyway, which is fine. Nothing good happens in the first 2 hours. Yeah, but she's supposed to be weak. She's not a wrestler. She's a daughter. She's not a wrestler. And it's the freak. I mean, look, when they brought Brock Lesnar in, did anyone stand up to him, or did everyone go, oh, shit, Brock Lesnar's here? Nah, Tim, it's all good in the hood, man. You know, Theo's here. All right. Well, one of my favorite things to do is just look around at some community creations and see what people got going on. And I'll tell you, there's a couple of stuff that was done here. Downloads, please. We got a couple of things that were done here by Error Has Occurred. Oh, bite me, man. 2K, you suck. Oh, here it goes. Let's try it again. Nope, it's going to be like that. All right, hold that thought a minute. So I found it. Sometimes you can go in here and you can... maybe get lucky this way. All right, usually that little bump start sometimes will fix that kind of problem. But not in this case. It's actually their servers. Good timing, guys. Well, as I was starting to say, there were some pretty cool community creations up there for some real legendary names, and I'm looking at these things, and they're really good. And I wanted to use them, but it's like, damn it, man. I got nowhere to put them. I want to, I just got nowhere to put them. There's our reminder about the Humanoid Nation on the PlayStation Network community. If you're not already a member, all things old school right there for you. Oh, snap. How did your son take that, Sean? I mean, was he aware you were doing it, or did you just do it? Some cold shit right there, man. Come home thinking you're going to jump in there and have some of your like favorite guys, and all of a sudden it's like, who are these old bastards? All right, in the meantime, let's... while we wait for the 2K servers to come back online, assuming they do. Here on the Nation Network, we bring you the show that gets the most copyright notices of anything we do. Open Mic Night, where every damn song is copyright. The last one of these we did, I set an all-time record, 32 copyright warnings. They're not really warnings. They just let you know that they're getting paid for the music, and I don't get paid for the video, which I wasn't getting paid for the video anyway, so I don't care. But I don't mind the artist getting paid, man. Go for it. Take the money. If there is any to be had, it's all yours. The Broken One. I'm never going to understand why people are so in love with that gimmick. It's like, I didn't see it at all when he was in TNA, because nobody watches TNA. So I didn't see it. And then I know he did something with it in ROH, but for me, it's kind of tough to even see ROH. I don't even think it's on locally here in Florida. It might be on some upper cable network that I'm not aware of, but I don't watch it. I've seen it a few times. I thought it was a good product. I just don't have easy access to it. But I was aware of the gimmick. I don't know. He and Triple H not put it as a tag team automatically? Good Lord. By the way, who's thinking this is going to be the Undertaker we see on Sunday? Yeah, I don't have HBO. I'm really looking forward to it, too. I'll have to wait till it hits DVD or somebody burns it or something like that. It does look good, though. I wonder if they're going to be legit with it, though. I mean, all these, and I get it, guy's dead. You don't want to talk badly about him, and I don't know that you're talking badly about him, but the reality is he wasn't a nice guy. I mean, anybody who's ever been around him doesn't, they'll tell you that there were a handful of people that he liked and he was cool with, but that if he didn't like you, he was just an absolute dick, and when it came to the fans, he really wasn't very good with the fans. The Ricky Morton School of Knox. Is that his wrestling school? That wasn't where he had one. How come he doesn't have Kane? You would think Kane would automatically be his tag team partner, wouldn't you? All right, tag team GLC match featuring the WWE in WCW. Everybody's got a story about Andre treating fans bad. Oh, that's a whole lot of work, man. I can't believe that's not automatic. I was surprised to hear whose sisters had he dated. Was it Barry Windham's sister that Andre dated for a bit? All in the Reflexes is in the house. Got the rebar sticking out of the concrete block there, looking badass. World Championship Wrestling. Oh, man, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. I do love me some John Cafferty, though. Speaking of which, on April 8th, we are going to debut I didn't know it was a T. Okay, yeah. We're going to debut our Name That Tune game show. Not sure what part of the stream it's going to take place on. But there will be clues based on the wrestler's history. And then you'll have to name that tune within a certain number of seconds. And the reason I've been holding off on doing this show, well, two reasons. Number one, I wanted to have a big launch, and what better than the 8-hour super stream. But I was also concerned about the copyrights, and, you know, I can't afford to have the channel shut down over it. I put too much work and energy into this thing, and it's doing really well. I'm real happy with where we're at as a nation to see something come along and squash it. So that all said, copyright protection does allow you to use in fair use a certain amount of time of any copyrighted material, especially if it's being used in, let's say, a news broadcast or an informational type setting. So because we're going to be combining all those elements and we are going to be limiting the amount of time played, then it's going to be under that protection. Hell, I've got some songs that they won't know what it is anyway. I don't even think they'd fall in the filter. Yeah, right there. Lesnar versus Reigns. Okay, I don't give a shit. I don't want to see that. Does anybody want to see that match, really? Yeah, Cowboy Bob. Maybe that's who it was. But I think he might have also dated Barry Windham's, though, because I've been watching a couple of Barry Windham shoot commentaries. AJ Nakamura is going to be a great match. I don't know that I care about it, but, you know, I'll watch it. Miz versus Rollins versus Baylor. I don't care. Orton versus Rude versus Jinder Mahal. No, why is Jinder Mahal in there? He shouldn't be on WrestleMania. He has no business being at WrestleMania. He sucks. Versus Rusev. Ugh. Bliss versus Jax. I just hope they don't kill Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax is just a clusterfuck in the ring, man. She's going to kill somebody. Charlotte and Asuka. All right, so far it's the first match I care about. Charlotte and Asuka I would care about. Sheamus, Cesaro versus Strowman, and yeah, to be determined, which, Usos versus the New Day. Harper, Rowan. And as much as I should care about Angle and Rousey against Triple H and Steph, man, they just screwed it up already. I guess seeing Daniel Bryan back in the ring. I was never a huge Daniel Bryan fan. I never quite understood why he was as over as he got. I don't dislike the guy. He seems like a super cool guy. But yeah, it's like I'm not loving that match either. Yeah, that's kind of me too, man. That's it for me, Timmy. I watch Mania because it's Mania and I've seen every one. Same reason I bought the latest Star Wars DVD. It's like, it sucks. Guess what? I thought it sucked in the theater, and a lot of times where I think a movie sucks in the theater, I'll buy a DVD, I'll watch it back. Rogue One, perfect example. I hated it in the movies. Now it's my favorite Star Wars movie because I watched it again, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't like it. This was great. And I thought maybe that's going to happen with Return of the Jedi or The Last Jedi. No, it just sucks. I couldn't get through it. I fell asleep about 40 minutes in. I was unconscious. But I got it because of the name. Yeah, in 5 hours, screw that, man. Well, like I said, I'll be getting there late, so I won't be watching the beginning part. Yeah, I think a lot of the hype as we watch Kane endlessly walk with a ladder into a table and Matt Hardy just watch him. I think the hype had to do something about the fact that a lot of fans saw him as a regular guy. I mean, he's like, what, 5'10"? Maybe a $185 on a good day. And it made them think, hey, I could be a wrestler. No, he has talent. You don't. Oh, did I forget to make this an all CP match? Oh. No wonder. Guess I should remember to turn my alerts off. We got ladders, we got tables, we got chairs. Somewhere we're going to have a... I'm trying to remember what the heck it was. No, I'm thinking something else. First women's battle royal. I don't have very high expectations for it, unfortunately. Whoopsie. Oh shit, that was quick. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, so what's the official list for the Hall of Fame this year? Because that's usually something I kind of like. There's been women's battle royals, nothing recently, but never at Mania that I can recall, no. Basically, look, they came up with a match to make sure that everybody on the roster at least gets to make an appearance, which I'm cool with that. I can count on one hand, and I don't need all 5 fingers. The number of times a battle royal turned out to be good. Whether it's women, men, doesn't matter. It's just, it's a filler. A novelty act. I want to do that again, only this time I'm going to make sure I'm not in it. There you go. Boom. Still can't believe you got to actually make him and Kane the brothers of destruction. Saturday night's main event. You know, the funny thing about the counter, though, it's not accurate. and I still haven't figured out. I guess if I do a little bit of homework, I can figure it out. If it shows 10 people are watching, it's not accurate. There's a lot more watching than 10. Usually it could be anywhere from 50 to 70. Because as soon as the stream goes off, even if the peak hit was 12, there's already 85 views on a live stream video. That's what happened last week's as well. So there's some factor not being counted in, whether it's the device they're watching on or what, I don't know, but it's not all that accurate. Hard to believe, right? YouTube not being accurate with their numbers. No, Moolah earned a lot of heat. Moolah has earned it because the stories that are coming out about her, really, they've been there a whole long time, and people just selectively decided to omit them. And you can't do that. I mean, you're as good as your reputation has been earned. You know, we're living in a time where all these statues are being pulled down, torn down, what have you. And not to equate something like the Andre the Giant statue or the Ric Flair statue or whatever it is. But if Hulk Hogan can't be on the card and involved with the company because he said a word, then Moolah sure as hell can't have a Royal Rumble named after her under Snickers banner. She was a madam, there's no doubt about it. I mean, she prostituted girls, period. End of argument. It's a fact. Yeah, back in the day when they used to do the Women Battle Royal, that's because it was an attraction. It was a little special thing that you didn't, kind of like midget wrestling. Charlotte's still, or excuse me, Carmella's still running around with that briefcase? I'll say one thing, she's easy on the eyes. Yeah, again, I don't know about the counter on this thing. I haven't figured it out. I don't care. You know what? People watch. They seem to enjoy it. That's good. Has anybody ever cashed in a Money in the Bank at WrestleMania? I feel like that's an easy question. It should be a yes, but I can't recall who. I'll tell you what, I only met Sherry one time, and she was so nice. And this one, she was like super heel in WCW. She, I think, was running with Ric Flair at that point in time, going after Hulk Hogan when he first came in. And they were doing the TV tapings over here in Orlando, over Disney's MGM at the time. And when they would bring the crowd in, we kind of went kind of behind the bleachers to get into the arena. And her and Nick Patrick, we passed by, and at that time we didn't have the internet like we do today, and I hadn't seen Tommy Young in quite a few Sundays, and I was missing him because he was always my favorite referee, and I'd talk to him during the matches and stuff. You know, he'd come out before the guys, and he'd come talk to us at ringside and stuff, and he was super cool, man. I just love Tommy Young. Can't say enough about him. Saw Nick Patrick, and I asked him, I said, "Yeah, where's Tommy Young been?" And he told me, "Oh, he's in a car accident, man. He probably won't be back," and he wasn't. But then Sherry came by a little bit later, and I was like, "Sherry," she's like, "Hey, babe, how's it going?" She was just like super cool, not in character at all. And it was just, you could tell she was genuinely a very fun, nice person. Rollins did cash in. Okay, I knew somebody had to have. I just, yeah. After 33 years or whatever it is now, it kind of blurs. Funny thing is, I can tell you about WrestleMania 1 start to finish. I do not remember last year's, and I was at it. I remember a couple of moments. monkey juice. Need some monkey juice. What is? Did they add the Thunder lineup yet? I can't remember. I heard some. I think Tim was the one telling about that. They were supposed to put the Thunder shows on the network. Yeah, if you're talking about their Mania match, depending which one. I mean, last year's Mania match was great because even though we all knew Brock was winning, there were about 3 moments where I was like, oh, shit, they're not going to let him win it tonight. He'll win it tomorrow on Raw. So to be able to still put the element of doubt in my mind when we knew what was going to happen. Oh, there you go, Thunder. I think they started looking at their numbers finally and realized that it was people like us that were watching the old wrestling that were actually watching stuff on their program, not so much. Now, first off, people generally have watched Raw already. Are you going to watch it again? I mean, good luck if you could sit through it the first time. Oh, dropping him head first on the ladder. He really is broken now. Bounce and check something here real quick. Let's see. Now, it can't be Big Show because he's in the LWF now, and that's only for guys that are no longer active wrestlers, so no, can't be him. He's going to mess me up, man. He's got a run going. He won the Andre the Giant Invitational Battle Royal, man. Didn't you see it? No, can't be the Big Show. I got plans for him. I got to say, I'm a little surprised he did retire, though. I know he loves it, and he's in the best shape of his life. I mean, gosh damn it, he's got a six-pack. When was the last time you saw a giant with a six-pack? In his case, it's a keg. Roman is a heel. That's the whole thing. They're booking him as a face, and that's why it's comical. The fans hate him. And the more you shove him down our throats, the more we hate him. This is not Rocky. The big difference is Rocky had the it factor. Roman doesn't, man. His personality just sucks. The only time he ever had a personality in his entire WWE run, however many years that's been now, was the one episode, and I forget who he was getting ready to fight on a pay-per-view, where Raw itself had to be canceled because of a really bad storm that was going through the area. So instead, they just did like a 1-hour interview with him and a 1-hour interview with Brock. And his was done like in a very small studio out of Stamford, probably out of the Connecticut office. And I don't remember who sat down and did it with him, to be honest with you. But it was just old school style. They had him on a director's chair. Very dramatic lighting, just the black and white lighting. And he actually came across almost likable. And there was a lot of positive feedback to it, and you almost thought that the WWE was going to learn from that, but no, they don't. Went back to booking the same shit. Big Red Machine and The Undertaker look like they're going to win it again. Yeah, I don't... Well, wait. He might make it. He might make it. Kicks the ladder out from underneath the Big Show. Or, excuse me, the Big Red Machine. I would lose it too. Only one problem. I don't know who the Bludgeon Brothers are. Hardy's going to take turns taking the case down. Oh, this is going to be sweet. It would have been better if you'd have let Kane push the ladder over. I am very happy with the fact that I have no idea who the Bludgeon Brothers are. Just the name alone. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, there you go. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Gosh, dang it. I've said before, I'll say again, and it's what the WWE just keeps doing over and over and over. The way they screwed up Ronda Rousey already, to the point where it's almost not salvageable, is what they did with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. That should have been a dominant force, and they never were. They had moments, but they were never a dominant force in wrestling. Now, I will be kind of curious as Kane and The Undertaker win again. I will be kind of curious to see what happens with Bray Wyatt after the loss to Matt Hardy and having been ultimately deleted. I've heard everything from him coming back dressed as IRS, which would be funny as shit, to him being a broken follower, which has potential, but they'll squash that if it does. All right, let's see if their servers are back up so we can check out some created content. Community creations, nope. I'm sure they're doing some sort of stuff to it, but all right, let's see what we got.
You can tell me what to do. Know who you're talking to.
I wish you could make it like a 4-man tournament, just something simple. God, that's a mess. Look at that bracket. That's worse than the March Madness.
You smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock.
The King Jerry Lawler.
Trust me. 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 Trust me.
All right, we'll get through this tournament here and see how that goes. North American belt, I never really knew much about it. When I got to Florida, that was not a title that was defended that I saw much of anyway. They had a couple of titles that kind of just barely made TV here on TBS. Like the Western States Heritage when Barry Windham had it, but it, nothing. Even then, it's like you knew it didn't belong to the NWA exactly, but you never saw where he got it from. You never saw where he lost it, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the brackets for March Madness were so screwed up this year. That's why they play the games. I saw a little bit of him in TNA, and I did think he did well in TNA, but it's hard to do well in TNA because TNA just blows. I do also think he tends to be a little over the top, which I know, it's part of being a performer is that you should accentuate. But sometimes it just reminds me too much of Duke the Dumpster Droese kind of accentuating, and that's not good. A little too cartoony for me. And I'm going to be in the camp that says no nameplates on belts, man. The belt is the belt. You're holding it? Good for you. Okay, I haven't watched NXT in a freaking long time either. So what title did they introduce? The Pacific one? No. I actually like the big green belt, and I'm really disappointed, always was, that it never got a fair run. I mean, Backlund had it for, I don't know, not that long, man. What, 8 months maybe? Before he dropped it to the Sheik. The Sheik had it for a month, lost to Hogan. Hogan had it for a day, and then all of a sudden had 7 other belts within about a year. The North American title. Okay, I didn't realize that was a thing in the NXT, so I I guess I should at least catch up on them a little bit. They were generally pretty good to watch. I mean, if you really go back to when NXT first became NXT from Florida Championship Wrestling, they were doing it right, man. That first 2 years, up to the first pay-per-view, even the second pay-per-view, their first 2 pay-per-views were off the hook. And several of them really were that good. I mean, the first Brooklyn pay-per-view, forget about it, man. That thing was top to bottom. Probably the best card of wrestling WWE's seen in years. Yeah, the NXT TakeOver show that blew, and I'm glad I didn't go, was the one here in Orlando, because I already had plans with WrestleMania, and I think, I'm not sure if I did Raw the next day or not. I can't remember anymore. I don't think I did. But I knew I was, going all in on Mania, and I wasn't going to go. I thought about it, and I had stopped watching the program already at that point, and I didn't know any, I was, when Bailey's class graduated, as I refer to them, it wasn't the same show for me anymore. I mean, when she was there doing her thing, Sasha was doing her thing, Breeze, and, just go down the list of who was on the roster at that time, it was spectacular. And then a bunch of them all leave at one time, and you bring all these new people in, and that's cool. That's what I like about NXT, is it isn't stale and old like WWE is, where you have to recycle the same bullshit every 8 months. But I just didn't feel it was the same type of characters or the same personalities. I wasn't getting into them. Snuka throwing Morocco around like a rag doll. But yeah, the Orlando show, I watched it on the network, and I did most of it on Fast Forward. I'll tell you what, and I don't think it was the Orlando show, though. I think it was one of the more recent pay-per-views for them. And I can't remember which one, but it had Aleister Black against, what the hell's his name? The dude that's like Prince from Purple Rain. I can't remember his name at the moment. I thought those two guys had one hell of a friggin' match, man. I thought that was one of the best matches I've seen in years. I became an Aleister Black fan that night. And even though I can't remember the dude's name at the top of my mind right now, I thought he did an absolutely stupendous job. Uh-oh. Chris Jericho going to introduce himself to the tournament. Uh-oh. He tried, but he couldn't get him. God, please let us have control of the ring lighting next year. This game would be so much cooler if you had the ability to bring the lights down to the point where you only see like the first row or two of fans and that's it. Velveteen Dream, that's the guy. I'm presuming he's still wrestling for NXT right now, because I'll tell you, he had personality, he had some charisma, and man, he put on a hell of a match that night. Snuka off the top rope. Madison Square Garden not kind to Morocco, as Snuka gets a little bit of revenge. Well, you know what? The funny thing is, they already have the ability to do it. But right now, you see the lights on above the ring. You can change those in the settings, which I do. I change them all to black. If you look around the upper rafters, you'll see they're black. There's no reason you can't put a dimmer on that. It's not hard. But then again, neither is getting wrestlers to walk into a ring normally. Monkey, I'm not creating anything at the moment, man. I got no slots. Actually, hold on a minute. Let's back out of here and see if the servers are back up and working yet. Nope. Yeah, man, I tell you what, every Saturday morning, and I'm your ring announcer, Joe McHugh. Hell, my dad doesn't watch wrestling, and he'd wake up in the morning, come out and say, so how's Joe McHugh doing? That's a guy who needs to be in the freaking Hall of Fame, man. Long before some of these other ass wipes that are going in. So who's the non-wrestler going in this year? What piece of shit's going in that didn't ever step inside of a wrestling ring and do anything that mattered in the business? Who gets a free pass this year? Oh, man. What's up, Sad Vines? I'm torn on that one because I actually do like Kid Rock. Does he deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame? Obviously knows the right answer, but I want to make an argument because I like his music a lot. I don't know, man. Kid Rock, he's been involved for a number of years, and he's also always done the tribute to the troops thing with the WWE. And for that reason alone, I can't say no to him. I mean, he's done more than Schwarzenegger. There are a few of these guys that do belong in there. Like, I do believe that William Shatner should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he did enough. I definitely think Pete Rose deserves it. Fucker took 2 tombstones. Come on, man. That makes it legit. And he was like, what, 60? Trusting some guy to put him upside down, drop him on his head? Can't remember the name of the song I'm trying to think of that Kid Rock did that I really liked. Looking at a headline on the news, 36-year-old accountant called in as an emergency NHL goalie, and he crushed it. What the hell happened here, man? I remember sometimes when that's happened on rare occasion where all of a sudden some guy got pulled out of obscurity. I'm just reading this article quickly. This is actually a pretty cool story about this dude from the Chicago Blackhawks. He's not an official member of the team. But apparently the NHL, if you have a team that's in a shorthanded scenario, they can bring local talent that's not even in the league whatsoever and have them as an emergency backup. And this dude was their emergency backup goalie. And then the regular goalie, he couldn't make it through the third period, so they brought him in, and apparently he did pretty damn good. Well, I'm going to have to catch up on the highlights of that one later. That sounds like a hell of a story. I'm not sure if Lonely Road is the song I had in my mind, though, but let me check. Let's start counting the copyrights. I feel bad saying it, but I'm not feeling Mark Henry in the Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah, I guess he's had some title runs. Even then, you wonder about, let's call it what it is. Was he a champion for most of his career? No. When did he get his championship run? After Michael Hayes said some things that, oh, by the way, Michael Hayes still with the company, said the same things, if not worse, as Hulk Hogan, who can't be anywhere near the company. So at that time, Hayes makes his racial remarks, and almost immediately after, Mark Henry gets the title. Now, was he going to get it anyway? I don't know, maybe. But you have to admit, the timing looked a little sketchy. I didn't think his promos were very good. I never paid to see him. Let's put it that way. If I was paying money, it was not because, Mark Henry's headlining. Well, he had longevity because he didn't wrestle. He was just a big guy, man. He beefed his way around the ring, but I mean, he wasn't doing any swantons or drop kicks, you know what I'm saying? So you can last as long as you can. I mean, Big Show's been around since when? 90 what? And he could very well still be wrestling if he wants. I just remembered the song. Is Ivory going into the Hall of Fame too? Is Vader not in the Hall of Fame? How the hell is that possible? By the way, have we heard any update on him after his surgery? See, this is what I'm talking about. When you hear some of these names, like Mark Henry does not go in before Vader. No way, shape, or form. His career in no way measures up to Vader's. I'm good with Ivory. I mean, damn it, she went from Glow Wrestling. Think about that. Did anybody else go from Glow Wrestling to pro wrestling? Clearly not to the level she did. Speaking of which, that's got to be coming back to Netflix soon, huh? I'm ready for another season of that. That was good shit. Orton came down with the wrong forearm. A busted open and bloody Cowboy Bob. Ooh, with a pile driver. Hold on, we've got more outside interference. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sting. Oh, he rolls him up from behind. Get the 3 count. 1, 2. Oh, come on, man. That's how you finish a match right there. That would have been perfect. Well, I'm glad to hear the big man did well. What was the surgery? Like, what is the prognosis now? I mean, he was on death's door. Is this going to prolong him? Yeah, I watched all the first season within like a week. I didn't think I was going to like it. And I'm a little disappointed that they've gotten away from a lot of the actual facts of the story. But it's still a good, they've made a watchable, very good program out of it. So, and it's also kind of brought about a little of a renaissance for Glow Wrestling, which I think the ladies deserve. Because, honest to God, that show was on TV for almost 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, and who would have ever thought it after episode 1? Ten clogged arteries. Good God Almighty. And this son of a bitch was wrestling. No, they never built his character. What are you talking about? They just put a belt on him, but nobody ever bought on him. He was always a loser. He roided it up. Got the veins to bulge out. And still sucked. Couldn't get over. Not as a heel, not as a babyface, period. There's your winner advancing on the tournament, The Godfather. All right. You guys want to hear this Kid Rock song I was thinking about? I haven't heard it in forever. I don't really know it, but let's see what happens here. Okay, I thought it was actually going to have words or something on the screen, but Let's try this one.
Fast on a rough road, riding high through the mountains, climbing, twisting, turning further from my home. Young, like a new moon rising, fierce through the rain and lightning, wandering out into this great unknown. And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free. Free like a river raging strong. Is the wind I'm facing, chasing dreams and racing Father Time.
Yep, that was it. Born Free was the song I had in my head. I like that song. That's a cool song. I know they did that for one of the Tribute to the Troops. I tend to like any music where the artist has a raspy sound to it. It just kind of brings it out a little bit more, I think. It's probably a Chevy or Ford commercial.
Facing danger, looking at no stranger.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring at this time, the former World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion, Bob Backlund. The champ is here. Talk about a guy who had no personality. 6-year world champion, though. And his opponent, the former Olympic medalist, Ken Patera. Now, did Patera win a medal, or was he just an Olympic strongman that liked to throw cops through walls? Hey, he was just ahead of his time. Now everybody's doing it. Ken Patera had the Intercontinental title? When did he have the title? Let's see. When I was watching wrestling as a kid, Morales had it. Lost it to Morocco. So it had been before Morales. Lost it to Morocco. Got it back. Or Morocco had it. Lost it to Morales. Lost it back to Morocco. Lost it to Santana. Santana lost it to Valentine. Lost it back to Santana in the best cage match ever. Santana lost it to the Macho Man, who lost it to Steamboat in some match I can't recall. Bullshit. Steamboat lost it to the Honky Tonk Man about an hour later, making you wonder why they ever put it on him. Honky Tonk lost it to the Ultimate Warrior. Warrior lost it to Rick Rude, got it back from Rick Rude, lost it back to Rick Rude. And after that, it gets a little blurry. I know Piper and Bret Hart took turns with the belt there for a little bit, and then Edge and Christian and everybody after that. Oh, he beat Pat Patterson for the title. Okay, so was that also in Rio de Janeiro? Okay, that explains it. Definitely before the whole Morocco and Pedro feud. Rio de Janeiro, the hotbed of professional wrestling in the 80s, I tell you. I mean, how perfect was that? Pat Patterson comes out as the Intercontinental title. He won a tournament recently in Rio de Janeiro where none of you motherfuckers would know. We know none of you went there, so you can't say different. Yeah, I wish they would do the regular chicken wing again. They used to have it in the game where the stand-up version. Can you imagine somebody trying to take a young Bob Backlund today and make him a 6-year champion? Every interview. I'll tell you, I just really appreciate the fans, and boy, oh boy, I'm just gonna do my very best, but I really don't appreciate that man, and I think the things that he does and the disrespect that he shows for people, something we need to stand up for. And it was just like, oh my God, how could that ever work today? He's got him in the crossface, and it's over! Patera says, no mas, no mas! Bob Backlund adding another victory to his string of Madison Square Garden wins. Yeah, Theo's got some special little Siri thing that does his wrestling for him, I think. I'm telling you right now, if there was like, what's that show that's on TV? I think it's still on TV. It might be done already. Where you basically have to rap off against each other. They take celebrities out there to smack rap against one another. If they had one of those for promos and they put Backlund up against Roman Reigns, even if you're not doing it live, just showing their, you know, like Backlund from the day in one of his promos versus Roman Reigns today in one of his promos, and let the fans vote. I think it's going to be embarrassingly bad for Roman Reigns. Yeah, of course they wouldn't. There's no way he could get over today. He couldn't even get over today as a heel like he did back in the 90s there with Brett. Oh, boy, this is going to be a fun bracket right here. No matter who advances, this is going to be good. Backlund and Valentine would be great, and Santana and Backlund would be great. All right, after this, we'll see if Community Creations is playing nicely. As all roads lead to WrestleMania. Yeah. I remember back in the day when it was what the world is watching. Now it's what the network is watching for just $9.99 a month. That Baltimore cage match is amazing. Everything about it. And up until that moment, and maybe it had happened, but not on TV that I ever saw, that was the first time I saw a finish like that. And I thought it was absolutely insane, man. I was marking out like a mother. And Valentine sold the shit out of it, too. And even what happens afterwards to the belt. Making his way to the ring, he is the reigning Intercontinental Champion, Tito Santana. Native of Tacula, Mexico. That's Chico Santana, get it right. You know, to a certain extent, that's true about the writers, but at the same time, you're a performer who gets acting classes. Act. And a lot of them don't. I mean, Roman Reigns, oh my God, Roman Reigns. Let's talk about that. How much money do you think they have spent trying to get him to do a good promo? I mean, they're force feeding him down everybody's throat. You know they're sticking time and energy into his promos. And man, his promos just blow. And the reason is very simple. This is why he's not The Rock, guys, in case nobody can figure it out over there in Stamford. He's not The Rock because he can't think on his feet. Not with his mouth. He can't. The Rock never needed anything other than an idea. Going in the ring, okay, this is what we want to get over. Okay, thank you, bye. You've said enough. And from there, it was just Rock being Rock. And it was all personality and was quick wit. 99% of what he did was ad-lib. And the fans knew it. They knew that there's no predicting him because it isn't written for him. Roman Reigns does not have that ability. He does. I mean, that one head-to-head that he had how many months back with John Cena when they were doing a pay-per-view. Probably SummerSlam if I had to guess. I don't know what it was. He had a couple of moments that he shot decently on Cena, but you know they were rehearsed. He didn't come up with it off the cuff. Cena's proven time and time again he can just pull something out his ass anytime he wants. And maybe that's why he was over as much as he is. Big E Langston. Geez, there's a blast from the past. And he's another guy who I thought was going to actually be a good big man, because he had a great finisher. And then they turned him into a unicorn. Good job. Good job. Hey, look, he got over even as a unicorn. Imagine what they would have done as a monster, but now you could never make him a monster now. You can spend all the time and money you want trying to do that, and next thing you know, some fan's going to bring out a trombone. Pie is not a bad word. Yeah, Theo, I agree. Like I said, the writers, they do come up with horrible stuff every freaking week, and they wonder why the ratings are down and the live shows are down. You know, from what I've heard from a number of different sources throughout different interviews and stuff that I've watched, is that a lot of times Cornette, when he does his podcast and he critiques today's product and mentions this, that, and the other thing, and somebody will call them on it and say, hey, you know, this is what Cornette said about you. Oh, Jim Cornette still thinks it's 1985. You know what? Maybe it ain't, but maybe that will still work. Maybe trying to sell it as something a little bit more realistic is going to make a better product that people want to see. You know, maybe not having Stephanie slap the former women's UFC bantamweight champion in the face, you know, maybe that's not such a good idea. Because I'm pretty sure in real life, if Stephanie didn't like Ronda and Ronda didn't like Stephanie, I don't think Stephanie would have ever even gotten near her. If she was eating dinner in a restaurant, knowing she had talked shit about Ronda, knowing that there was no like between them in real life, and Ronda walks into that restaurant, I am pretty sure Stephanie's like, check please. They spent a lot of money to fuck that up. Nah, tickets are always on sale for Mania right up to the bell time, and then they give them away. They were available last year. Because they're doing stadiums now, you're never going to fill it up with purchases. You'll get a lot of them, and then at the very end, they give a lot of them away because they just want the seats full. They want the attendance number. Now, they're not going to give away ringside. You know what those damn ringside seats go for? Talk about a wake-up call, man. Last year when they were here, and I'm like, all right, this might be the last time I ever have a chance to see it live because I ain't traveling to see it. That's for damn sure. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want to go all in and get me some ringside. Hello! I think it was like $1,300. It's like, F to the no. I thought they were like 13 or 1400. I don't think they made it to 2000. But maybe they did. I don't know. All I know is the number was enough to make me say not even close. No. You know, we have the Walking Dead cast coming here for their tour. They do a Walker Stalker convention that goes throughout the United States, and they'll be coming out here in August. And they haven't been here in a couple years, and I've been waiting for this to come back again because it's the best time ever, man. If you're a Walking Dead fan especially, it's like family reunion. The cast is super cool. Every one of them are just really, really cool. And it's great to be able to just hang out, talk to them a little bit. And I was made aware of it pretty quickly. Not quick enough, though. And I was going to get this platinum package where it allows you to basically get fast forward on all the lines, and even allows you to eat lunch in the green room, so you could actually be having lunch with the cast of The Walking Dead, which to me would be like, you know, I can die and go to heaven now. It's all right. That was selling for $985, I believe, but they were sold out. Very small number of those tickets are available. I would have paid that. Valentine has got him. Santana better figure something out quick. He's not going to turn it over in time. The past history and knee damage catching up with Valentine, or I should say with Santana on that one. Valentine and Backlund in the semifinals. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. I really want to lug that friggin' chair all the way through the friggin' arena, through the parking lot. And you know these places are all in, like, the worst part of town. No, the WWE won't go bankrupt. As a matter of fact, and I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if they do better. Because if he goes, when he goes, Triple H takes over. And we've seen what Triple H did with NXT. So based on what I've seen in NXT, I think I would definitely be willing to wager that the Monday and Tuesday night programs would get better. Well, there's an interesting bracket right there. I'm not sure I would have picked that one. All right, let's take a bounce real quick here and see if the servers are back up. They are. Well, at least they seem to be. Okay, let's go to most recent. And these are the guys that I'm kind of subscribed to because they do good work. So we got Ernie, the big cat lad, who I wish, like I said, I wish I had slots, man. But look at the detail, man. This is good stuff. And just the color scheme. Look at the grayish tights and all that, man. Back in the day. This is a good Big John stud. I mean, another guy who really didn't make it as a face. I liked him as a bad guy in the sense that, you know, he was a legit bad guy and I just wanted him to lose. So from that aspect, it got over. And that's about as good a Big John as you could ask for with the hairs that they give you to work with this year. That's actually a pretty solid choice. Just the one attire. I like the robe. Cowboy Bob Orton. I like the one I got too much right now, but who did this one? Rick 23. Got our green and maroon tights on. I mean, it's a solid piece of work. I mean, it does look good. If I didn't have mine, I'd be grabbing that one. Same thing goes here. Recent Hacksaw Jim Duggan by Misfit. But I kind of like the one I got right now. I don't want to switch it up. Not to mention, I mean, talk about this game. Jesus. If you decide you want to delete a wrestler, you can't just delete a wrestler. No. You have to go to each save slot that you have him in a season in, remove him. God forbid he has a title. You have to go and remove the title. It's like, how about I delete him and then he's automatically not on their rosters and no longer has the title. It's vacant. How hard is that? But I digress. I don't know. You know, it's Stephanie. By the way, we're looking at Bobo Brazil, obviously. By Viva La Raza. And this is another one I would love to use. I just don't have nowhere. But this looks so good. Really solid work. Here's the thing with Stephanie. I want to believe in my heart of hearts she'll get her hands on it if that were to happen. Run it down, which she's proven time and time again she can. I think at the end of the day, her business savvy that she gained from her father would kick in, and she would say, all right, we've got to do something. And I think for the betterment of the business, and the company, she would bring in a Paul Heyman or a Jim Cornette or somebody along those lines that's going to shake it up, make it new, fresh, and get it revitalized. Carlos Colon, also well done. Another Viva La Raza. Got his blue and his white. Didn't he have red? I remember him wrestling in red mostly. It's hard to say for sure, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but we can take a look at what's current. A lot of mine I have pulled off and then re-uploaded afterwards, whether it's because I changed them up a little bit and made them better, or because people asked me to upload this or that, and I took something down to make room to put something else up. So a lot of the numbers are not accurate. But for those that are like One Man Gang, he's been up and down so many times, so he's got more than 31 overall. It doesn't carry over in any way. So Snuka, that's legit. Garvin is legit. I never took him down. Eaton's been up and down a bunch of times, so I would guess another 300 on top of that, roughly. I don't recall exactly. Ron Bass has been up and down a whole bunch of times. He might be close to Ronnie Garvin numbers, to be honest with you. Mass Superstar, I think he's pretty much stayed up. Bruiser's been up and down a number of times. Sam Houston, that's probably about accurate. I don't think I've pulled him down. Same with Murdoch. I think he's been pretty regular. The Freebirds, right. Fabulous Ones have been up and down a whole bunch of times, so I would guesstimate another 300 probably each of them. And Hogan's been up and down a bunch of times, but quite honestly, he hasn't had a lot of downloads for two reasons. Number one, the more popular version of him is going to be NWO, and that's fine. And the other reason being there's probably 200 Hulk Hogans out there. When I see people posting work that they're doing, saying, hey, I got a new Hulk Hogan going, I'm like, why? I mean, if you just want to make one and say you made one, okay. But, I mean, there's just too much competition out there. Funk's been up and down a few times, too. I would say another 100 to 200 votes on that would be accurate. It was a tough year to get a good Terry Funk. I mean, I'm not even saying that's great. It's good enough. But for some reason, it's just tough to create him this year. Wahoo's definitely been up and down a number of times. I would say he's probably got 500 overall votes if I were to crunch them all together, if I remembered what they used to be. Same thing, Link's been up and down, but I don't think his numbers are off that much. You know, maybe 200 at tops. And Percy's numbers are accurate. So with him, I got to have him saved because I took him out of my roster to make room. And if I need to bring him back for any reason, that's the only way to do it. And there was somebody else I did the same thing with where I've had to pull them out of the roster rotation. I can't remember now. Let's see. Who is it? Not Terry Funk. Huh. Could have sworn there were two people that I saved because I had no other way of using them. Maybe not. But anyway, that's where I'm at with those. Yeah, I'll tell you what, every year when I do creator wrestlers, there's always one where the planets are aligned and the birds are singing and everything just goes well. And hands down, man, that one it was perfect. And I didn't use any face creator template or anything like that. I didn't use any photo scans. And even the videos that I run with her in it, I don't feel like it does her any justice. And I had that posted a few times in the past, and it got like no downloads, and I thought for sure that thing is going to blow up. Between Woman, Fallen Angel, whichever character, I thought it was just going to, do well. But yeah, it never really did. She didn't get a lot of downloads. That's why I had to pull it off. But if you go back to the first, week's worth of videos when 2K18 dropped, when I was putting the season together, I'm just looking at photographs, and off of that, I just kind of sculpt. Each character has something very unique about them that makes them stand out. So with her, it's the eyebrows, the eyes, and she has that nose that's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I would say cute. It's kind of like a rounded kind of thing going on, and everything just worked out really well where it came out that way. So, yeah, I'm real happy with the way that one turned out. Will we see Woman make her entrance here at some point in time? I don't know. But man, I remember when she was with Kevin Sullivan here in Florida, and gosh damn, she was hot. She had that 80s hair rocking, man. Ugh. Smoking hot. And I've got some really close-up pictures from ECW days when they come to Florida. And at that time, she had to be in her 30s at least, right? Probably her mid-30s. And still, man, smoking hot. Smoking hot. Hey, Bradley, what's up? Yeah, she seems like she'd be a really cool person. I got to meet Kevin Sullivan. That was an interesting encounter. It was good. But that's back in WCW when they first introduced Cactus Jack. And he was kind of running with Cactus Jack a little bit. And it was backstage at the Orange County Civic Center. A friend of mine was working security, so he got me, my girlfriend, and next door neighbor girl got us in. So we were there like hours before the show started. We had to sit down in the green room and just be cool, not say anything, which we did. First guys that got there was Rick and Scott Steiner. This is when they were super faces early on, wearing the Michigan jackets and all that. What a couple of assholes. What a couple of absolute douchebag assholes. Scott Steiner, what a prick, man. When you see, you've seen what's going on with his chest, how it's all inverting on him now from all the steroids and the bad workouts and all that, how it's all torn up the chest muscles and shredded it. Now it's got some concave thing going on because there is no heart there to hold it up. That's called karma. That's what that's called. He goes around to somebody from the convention center saying, man, there's some kids running around up there and doing shit. Get them out of there. So my boy comes back up there and says, y'all see anybody running around? Said, no. Y'all been sitting here? Yeah, we ain't moved. And we weren't kidding. I mean, I was like 22 at the time. My girlfriend was 21 at the time. This girl that went with us, she was about 17. But we were cool, man. We were sitting there. We understood it was their area. We said hi to them when they walked in the room. Literally. That was what we did. We said hi to them. They were with their girlfriends and some little rat dog that was about maybe 7 pounds, if anything. Yeah, he is a douche. Years later, when he's wrestling with TNA, a friend of mine was working over at Universal and had his story where Steiner went off and accused Universal staff of stealing his, I want to say his toothpaste is what I believe it was. And I'm like, dude, seriously? If they did, maybe it's because you were a dick. What am I saying maybe for? All right, we ready for like a little musical interlude real quick? I don't know why I just had something up on the screen figure. We definitely got our thing together, don't we, baby? Isn't it nice? I mean, when you really think about it. Isn't it really, really nice? I can easily feel myself slipping more and more away. That simple world of my own. Nobody but you and me, baby. We got it together, baby. My first, my last, my everything, and the answer to all my dreams. You're my sun, my moon, my guiding star, my kind of wonderful. That's what you are. I know there's only one like you. There's no way they could have made two. Girl, you're all I'm living for. I'll love you keep forevermore. You're the first, you're the last, my everything. In you, I found so many things. A love so new, only you could bring. Can't you see it's you? You make me feel this way. You're like a first morning dew on a brand new day. I see so many ways that I can love you till the day I die. You're my reality, yet I'm lost in a dream. You're the first, my last, my everything. Oh yeah. NWF is up there dancing with his girlfriend. This Ally McBeal flashback moment brought to you by the Nation Network. Well, I know there's only one like you. There's no way it could have made two. Girl, you're my reality. Well, I'm lost in a dream. You're the first, you're the last, my everything. All right, how to get that. I was thinking about Ally McBeal the other day out of the blue. I don't know if anybody ever watched that show. I loved that show, man. First couple of seasons were awesome. And, yeah, Barry White plays a pretty big role in that show, even though he's never really on it. I think he might have had a guest cameo one time, but his music is featured. And I've ever since that, it's always been in my head. Yeah, and I agree. Kevin Sullivan was super cool. We were just scared shitless when we... So that same day that Steiners were being Steiners, we ended up going, I want to say up the elevator. This is before the Steiner meeting. And Kevin and Cactus were going to be riding up with us. And I swear it was like that scene from the Ghostbusters where in the envelope, yeah, when they're in the elevator. And they realize they've never really tested the proton packs yet before. And he turns it on. The other two guys start like smooshing up against the wall like that's going to protect them from the nuclear explosion. That was kind of the same thing. Here's Cactus Jack and Sullivan having a pretty regular chat, and three of us were just like way off to the corner, about as far away as we could get, which was about, I don't know, 18 to 25 inches. Feeling much safer over there. But no, they were super cool, and you could tell Kevin's the kind of guy you could just sit down and have a drink with. Love his Boston accent, man. It is so much fun. When I do my Kevin Sullivan stuff, I have fun with that. A lot of the old school guys are pretty easy to get along with. Maybe not all, but a lot of them. Well, that was a lot louder than I was anticipating. Everybody awake now? Too much dead air is killing me. And now that we got to actually know Mick Foley a little bit more, you know, it's no surprise that he was cool. And can you still believe, I mean, I still have trouble believing this, but that's his daughter. How in the hell? I mean, when she's got her makeup going on and all that stuff, and she's all glamored up, that is like one of the most gorgeous women on the face of the earth. And then look at that dweeb. Look at that dweeb she's with. Frank the fucking clown, man. Come on. How does that happen? How in the hell does that happen? You know he doesn't want her to be a wrestler, man. He's going to be so out. Some guy with biceps bigger than his whole body going to take her away. All right, fans. The second match. Here in the semifinals. Making his way to the ring, the Godfather. Don't forget the hose. Wonder who modeled the hose. The girl on the left looks like one of the Bellas. His opponent from the Fiji Islands in the ring at this time, the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Noelle Foley, God, is she gorgeous.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard the
Whoo, train!
Man, I know that I ain't the only one. Is there any pimps up in this house?
I want to hear everybody.
To all y'all that know that the Godfather be pimping hoes,
East to west.
man, I want to hear you from the top of this building to the front row and everybody in between. Line it up for the Godfather and say,
Pimpin' ain't easy. No, I can't go with Papa Shango over Godfather. I can't do it. See, the Godfather was entertaining. Whether he's a bad guy or not didn't even matter. He was entertaining. That's why he was able to go from back and forth from heel to face. Papa Shango was, again, you know, Duke the Dumpster Drozy, Doink the Clown. It was the cartoon days. I mean, could you have ever possibly made Papa Shango a face? No. Not unless you gave him a couple of hoes and changed his gimmick. Give other guys hope. If you're talking about Frank the Clown, it should give every guy hope. Hell, I've got a chance. I've got one big thing over. I've got two big things over him, and the first one is a job. Well, I shouldn't say he has a job, but doesn't he fetch water for like Opie and Anthony or some shit? I like the whole time though when Mr. and Mrs. Foley were contemplating the god-awful possibility that she would marry a clown. What are we going to do, have a lot little clown babies? They're going to be born with, like, you know, makeup and funny hair and... The Soul Taker. Forgot about that. That's a good name. See, now, there you go. They could have done something with that, man, when The Undertaker had the Ministry running. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but was he not a member of the Ministry? Why wasn't he not the Soul Taker? Damn, that would have been perfect. Uh-oh. Superfly getting that warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Cross body, and he squashed him. I love you. Every Jimmy Snuka interview. To all you people out there in TV Wonderland. I used to think it was an act, you know, to kind of sell him as being some island guy that didn't really know how to say things right. 30 years later. High def TV, same Snuka. But hell, his interviews are better than Roman Reigns. I really want to make this show happen. Maybe that'll be another one I'll add to the network. I'll get a bunch of video clips of like guys like Snuka in his prime and a video of him doing an interview. And then to get something to Roman Reigns and have to go head to head and you guys all vote on it. You being the objective audience that you are would be totally fair and unbiased, I have no doubt. The pimp drop. Not enough to hold him down. Papa Shango, where are you when I need you? Yeah, that was the other thing about Papa Shango with those stupid curses and all that. I'll never forget the one with the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior comes out to the platform interview wearing the white satin Ultimate Warrior jacket, and you just knew some shit was going to go weird because he does not wear a fucking jacket. And all of a sudden this black shit starts oozing out of his hair and down his face, and it's like, oh wow, I couldn't figure out there's a bladder going on in the jacket and they're pumping it up through there. Snuka gets the win. Super fly. He survives the pimp drop. And here it is, 15 feet in the air. Superfly Jimmy Snuka will face the winner of the Greg the Hammer Valentine Bob Backlund match. We're going to get a hell of a match either way. But I'm pulling for Backlund because imagine the rematch there. Yeah, I saw the video of him in ECW back in the day. That's back when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. And the thought of him and Morocco joining forces just didn't work for me, man. There was a part of me that liked it, another part of me that was kind of like, nah, not so much. Yeah, something else, all right. But then again, so is trash. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lay your bets down. Lay your bets down. The window closes in 3 minutes. Bob Backlund, Greg Valentine. Valentine getting 2-1 odds over Bob Backlund. 2-1. I shouldn't do it, but I'm putting my money on Bobby B. It's hammer time. Can't touch this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our final semifinals match, making his way to the ring from Princeton, Minnesota, still weighing in at 232 pounds, former WWF Heavyweight Champion, Bob Backlund. And his opponent from Seattle, Washington, weighing 246 pounds. He is the former Intercontinental Champion, former Tag Team Champion, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Yeah, that's the thing about Valentine, though. He often went over 20 minutes. He had a lot of long matches, man. But he could do that. Backlund meets him with a hug. The winner of this match gets to move on to face Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Valentine is here because he was able to get Tito Santana to tap out to the figure 4 leg lock. Something he couldn't do in their recent meeting in the LWF. Dropkick nicely done by Backlund. Who was his wife at the time? Anybody in the business or just his wife? All right, so let's talk about Valentine and wives. Now, I don't know what his marital status was at the time, if I'm being honest. But back in the 90s, when they used to do like television taping for a month, and they go to an arena and start at 7 a.m. and finish at like 1 in the freaking morning, and they do like 4 TV shows and a Saturday night main event and all that crap in one shot. We were over at the Tampa, I want to say it was the Sun Dome, University of Tampa. Pretty sure that was the facility. Anyway, Valentine had his match against somebody you'll never remember the name of. And as he was leaving, he's heading back up the ramp, and the TVs aren't covering this part because he's on his way out back to the locker room. Right before he gets to the locker room, there's that little section of fans that are reaching up from, you know, way up high. And there's a girl, a little on the chunky side, but, you know, she wouldn't drown if she fell out of a boat, let's just say. She safely had 2 flotation devices that were enough to support her and probably 2 other people. She reached over the rail, and I would say she was probably a good 7 feet up in the air, reached down with a piece of paper folded up, which he, without missing a beat, just reached up, snatched, and walked off. I'm willing to bet that was her phone number, and I think he called her. Oh, I do recall that scene. Now, I don't know if he is, but he was married to Medusa, right? Never understood that matchup. I've never met Valentine in person. My expectations are low. I have a feeling he probably wouldn't be the nicest guy in the world to meet. I could be way wrong. I just get the feeling. Maybe he was just real good at his role. Yeah, I remember she was a hot blonde. That's about as much. And she had long nails, too. Because I'm like, how are you supposed to be rubbing a guy down with nails like that? You're going to kill him. Uh-oh, Backlund's got the crossface chicken wing on him. This could be it. Valentine manages to fight his way out. Hell, he still wrestles to this day, man. How old's he got to be? 60-something. At least. What is Valentine doing? He's got a steel chair. He's got to get himself disqualified if he uses it. Or maybe not. There it is. Referee decided to wait for the second swing. Well, that's a perfect ending right there. Both guys go out strong. Backlund gets the advance, and Valentine didn't lose. And it sets up the perfect finish.
Trust me.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was a smart move right there.
Trust me.
I still have rolled up a poster of Elizabeth from the 90s where she's in like a workout outfit with one of those cut-off shirts. It's like a pink sweatshirt, but it's all cut off, or it's like super short sleeves, and I think the midriff is showing a little bit or something like that. And one shoulder is dripping off, and it's like, gosh damn, she was hot. Although I gotta tell you, man, I was a bit of a fan of Gorgeous George in the WCW when he had that girl on his arm. What do you mean, snitch to the IRS? Wouldn't surprise me if it was. She even had the headband going on, very much like Olivia Newton-John in the physical video. is what she looked like. But gosh dang, she was hot. When they were here in Orlando, would have been probably 93-ish. That back then, you could buy the house show ringside seats for like $40. We were ringside every time. Can't do that anymore. Ringside, even for non-televised, is still way up there. But yeah, I got some great pictures of her, and she was maybe 10 feet away. Skinny little thing, tiny little thing. Looked much bigger on TV. But still hot as shit, man. My girlfriend was sitting right next to me, and I was just snapping pictures off. The whole time thinking to myself, that's what I'll be thinking of later tonight. Yeah, but if you don't make it in the United States, do you have to claim it? Just kidding. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Open Mic Night Challenge, final match of the evening. Entering the ring at this time from the Fiji Islands, the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. And the crowd went mild. Yeah, I gotta believe she was a sweet girl with a bad habit. And his opponent, still from Princeton, Minnesota, still weighing in at 232 pounds. Still the former two-time WWF Heavyweight Champion, Bob Backlund. Yeah, the MSG crowd and everybody watching on pay-per-view. The difference is that the people watching on TV had the advantage of being able to go in the bathroom for a few minutes afterwards. Just saying. Of course, the lines at the bathrooms at MSG were probably out the door after that, too. Showed a little bit of ass cheek on that night, did we not? She might have been on the skinny side, but I'll tell you what, man, she was put together nice. But you could tell she wasn't super comfortable with it at all, man. It was a little bit awkward. She just, I don't think she was comfortable with doing it. Yeah, the old superstar, man. You're going to have a damn coronary, that old man. Superfly taking the suplex from Bob Backlund. And now, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, this could be it. He's on the top rope, Backlund. Ooh, got caught with an elbow. Superfly. I'm a little surprised that she got back into wrestling once she got out of it, once her and Macho broke up and all that, after their second wedding. Especially to be in the business again in the same locker room as him. That just seems all kinds of weird. But I'm sure the money was great. And even then, how does that work with the whole thing with her and Luger? Again, Macho Man's being in the locker room at that time. I'm sure he was seeing somebody else, but one thing about Savage always struck me as somebody who kind of claimed property or possession, especially when it came to her. Yeah, Ventura and Albano. So what, Luger was married when he was dating Elizabeth in WCW? Uh-oh, Snuka's going back up again. He's starting to feel the warm fuzzies. Drives a fist into the throat. Backlund couldn't hold him up. Back in 1983, these two men climbed inside a steel cage in this fabled arena for the WWF Championship. Bob Backlund would walk out the victor. Tonight, Superfly Jimmy Snuka looks to settle the score. Hits him with the cross knee backbreaker, gets two, and Backlund manages to kick out. Oh, man, that's always trouble when you're married to a lawyer guy. He might not kick your ass, but he will sue you into the poorhouse. And now the action spills out to the floor. Superfly Jimmy Snuka, what's he going to do here? Backlund is in, and he caught him. And now Bob Backlund going up to the top rope. Is he going to do what I think he's going to do? Backlund with a knee right to the chest of Snuka. And only two. Uh-oh, he's looking at his hands. This is not a good sign. Bob Backlund, he could snap. He's got the crossface on him, but they're in the ropes. Referee doesn't see it. Snuka's in trouble. He fights his way out. Superfly Jimmy Snuka not done yet. Oh, I was always a Luger fan, man. I loved him in Florida. Loved him in the NWA. Got to meet him a couple times. I thought he was cool. If anything, I thought he was always really underrated. The series of matches with Flair I thought were really good. Steamboat were really good. Brian Pillman were really good. He had a lot of good matches, man. Snuka again with the crossbody block. He thinks he's got Backlund beat. Let's see. He's not hooking the leg. And it almost didn't matter, but Backlund gets out the back door. I actually didn't care for Harley as his manager too much. Yeah, I liked everything about the whole Pillman series with him. What was it? They were fighting over what? The U.S. title, I'm guessing, right? I thought he did a really good job of putting Pillman over and making it feasible, even though there was a big difference in size. Snuka with the backbreaker. Will that be enough? No, Backlund still able to kick out. Superfly going to the top rope. If he hits it, it's over. No, Backlund gets up to his feet just in the nick of time. Snuka driving him down on the back of his head. Snuka goes up again. This time it might be over. The I love you to the fans. There's the splash, hooks the leg. Will Snuka win? Yes. Super fly. All right, the winner of the Open Mic Night Tournament, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Ed the Bull Gantner. Yeah, man, he was cool. Ed the Bull Gantner. Who was the other one? Jerry Gray was another big name here. Did his own promotion. Both were solid workers, I thought. And I think they both passed on. All right, everybody. That is going to bring to an end this edition of Open Mic Night. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for sharing the memories. Talking the wrestling. And we remind everybody, of course, that we'll be back with more of this silliness that is the Nation Network. If not sooner than on April 8th. 8-hour live stream beginning at 1 o'clock in the morning. This was like a warm-up for me. Trying to see if my voice would hold out for that many hours of non-stoppiness. It's going to be close. All right, that's it for this round. Until next time, we'll see you back at ringside with more Open Mic Night. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon.